Welcome to another episode of Behind the Dreamers. I'm Jennifer Loading, and we are talking to the achievers, the creators, the magic makers, and the dreamers. These are our friends, these are your friends, and they are living the extraordinary. Today's episode is brought to you by Walt Mills Photography. If you are a creator needing post-production, consultation, or promotion, Walt Mills is your guy. Whether short films, YouTube production, photography work, or a new headshot, he can help you find a solution to match your needs. To learn more about Walt and his work, go to photosbywalt.com. We also want to give a shout out to our friends Chris Clow over at Upbeat Media Productions. If you're in need of turnkey special event production, Clow is your go-to. You can learn more about him and his work at upbeatmediapro.com. All right, we're super excited to welcome our guest to the show today, Raquel Silva. I'm so excited to have her here. She is the owner of Sweet Joy Bites. Raquel was born in Brazil and moved to Texas at the age of 2. Born one of 7 children, she was raised hearing, whatever you do it well. She says it's no surprise we've all grown to be driven and devoted to working hard and doing a job well done. In December of this past year, after having worked in corporate, Raquel said she decided to leave the airline industry where she had worked as an executive liaison and build her business from the ground up. Raquel's vision for Sweet Joy Bites is to create a gourmet product that honors her roots, but also uses flavors and trends that the American palate would be excited to try. Raquel blends the traditional process of making Brazilian truffles and adds them with well-known ingredients to the American palate to develop exciting and trendy flavor profiles for each truffle. Welcome to the show, Raquel. Super excited to have you here today.
Oh, yes. Thank you. My pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Don't you like that intro?
Yes.
I think it's always fun to hear yourself when somebody kind of reads it back to you, because you think, wow, that's a pretty cool person, right? We used to joke that when my co-host was on here, that was my favorite part of the whole podcast is reading the bios. And I'm like, hey, if you need any like MC to introduce you anywhere, I'm your person for that.
Hey.
So anyways, all right, well, let's get this thing kicked off. I want to talk about what you do here. So tell us a little bit about this company that you have started, who you're serving, and what you're up to.
Oh my goodness. Yes, it's been quite a journey. We're super excited to where we are, where we're going. So happy to share. So we are Sweet Joy Bites. We specialize in gourmet chocolate truffles. And our vision is to be able to provide a gourmet product for pretty much anything and anyone. From your online customers, we are, available there. Just if you're craving something sweet for any gifts or birthday parties, weddings. I mean, pretty much we do it all. And then we have, of course, the corporate side where we work with corporations for employee appreciation, client appreciation, corporate events, parties, end of year celebrations. I mean, you name it. So yeah, we do quite a bit, and we have a lot of new things that we are up to that are exciting, that are coming up. So yeah, everything's looking pretty great given that we're just starting off our business. And so yeah, definitely exciting.
This is awesome. And so I do want to say, to the audience, because I did get some of these amazing truffles. They are good. They are good. I will say that I've tried, I think the box, Raquel, that you gave me, I think I've tried every one out of there.
So good.
Divine.
They're dangerous.
Right now, the cheesecake one I'm loving a lot. That one's really good.
It's definitely a favorite.
Yeah,
for sure.
That one's really good. I'm trying to think. I liked the, I can't remember the flavors of the lemon that you gave me.
Yes, we had the white chocolate lime, I think.
Maybe that's
it's one of my all-time favorites. I always go back to it. I find myself going back to it quite a bit.
It's good. That one's really good. So, and the packaging is divine.
Thank you.
Packaging.
Thank you. Yeah, we definitely took a lot of time to develop the packaging. We pride ourselves in it because we do ship our product nationwide. And so this is available to pretty much anyone out there. We will deliver to you. I mean, right now we are on Amazon, so you can order through there or through our website at sweetjoybites.com. But one of the things is our truffles, they're very they melt in your mouth, so they're fragile. So to be able to develop a packaging that worked and that got the product transported to our customer and intact and beautiful and delicious was a challenge, to say the least. But yeah, definitely very proud of where we are as far as the packaging goes. We try to keep it simple, less is more. Kind of vibe. So very classic.
Yeah.
So thank you. Yes, we definitely love our product, our packaging, and where it's gotten to so far.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So, well, here we're all about the story. So we want to talk about how this came about for you, because I feel like,
Ah,
our lives, I talk about this all the time, are not
mm,
linear. They're very, if you go along the journey, you'll find that some people kind of stay the same course of path. They'll kind of do that. But for entrepreneurs, I think we
mm,
kind of travel down different paths, and we don't
yeah.
always end up going in the direction where we necessarily set out to be in the beginning, right?
Oh my
So
goodness, no.
yeah, so I'm curious to know how this kind of came about for you. Like, what was the vision behind this? How did this start up?
Oh my goodness. So, as you know, I am from Brazil. And so I grew up eating these truffles we call brigadeiros, but we'll keep it truffles for short. It's easier on the tongue. And, pretty much anywhere and any gathering, any of life celebrations, we have these truffles, in our day-to-day lives. So I grew up eating them quite a bit. I have a sweet tooth, and so definitely I guess in this case, a blessing or a curse, however you see it. And once I decided to take it on, my best friend played a major role in it. She was my number one fan, supporter. And, from the get-go, she's like, Raquel, you have something here. You really got to take this on and run with it. So after a while, as you mentioned, I worked in the corporate world for pretty much my entire life with customer service and all of that. Loved my job working in the airline industry, but I had to make a choice, right? I had to make a choice to take this new journey and give it a shot, give it everything I had, or continue down the corporate world. And I decided to give it a shot. So I took the truffles, and I thrive on feedback. I think that's very important if you are giving yourself an opportunity to present the world with something, to be able to take on feedback. It's important, right? So I reached out to everyone and anyone, and I had a connection in the restaurant business. There was this chef that was very kind to take on my product and give me some feedback, and that is gold. It's gold when someone that has so much experience and knowledge to be able to tell you, hey, you got something here, I would do this or that. So one day I went to his kitchen, and I'm presenting the product to him. He's giving me all this amazing feedback, and in walks this gentleman. And little did I know, long story short, was talking to the CEO of a major corporate restaurant chain, Fogo. It's a Brazilian steakhouse, and they were interested in carrying my product. And this is pre-pandemic, okay? So I decided to give it everything I had, and I got my kitchen, I got my license, I perfected my recipes, I did everything, all the packaging, and went to work with Fogo on this major project. And then the pandemic hit and shut everything down. So you are absolutely right. When it comes to life as an entrepreneur, it's definitely not linear. Your journey has its ups and downs and curves, and life throws your way, and you have to learn how to adapt and work with what you have, and be patient and invest really everything you have into that dream, right? So here we are. Years later, so and we still stuck to it, decided to run with it and wait and use the pandemic to perfect multiple things within the business, right? All the getting online, getting onto Amazon, getting onto Uber Eats, and DoorDash, creating your online profile, or with all the different social opportunities that you have, and just really perfect multiple different areas within the business with that time that you had, right? 2 years, basically, I had to use the time that we had locked up in our homes to be able to invest in this business elsewhere. And it paid off. It definitely paid off. So here we are years later. And I mean, it's been a great journey thus far. Yeah, I mean, it definitely was, you had to improvise for sure. Talk too much a little bit about
No,
the
it's
beginning
good.
there. Yeah, but definitely, it's something that when you make a decision, there's a lot of things that make you want to give up along the way. You're going to go through a lot of hardships and difficulties, and you're going to hear a lot of no's, and doors might open, doors might close. And I think as an entrepreneur, it really takes a lot of guts to stick to it and really, go through those moments and still not give up on what you have. And then, sooner or later you look back and you're like, that was definitely worth it, right? Look at where we got to today. And if we had just given up with what had gone on from the beginning, we would have gotten nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is really good. And when you think about it, two things I'll say. I've come across so many businesses that really started right at the time that the pandemic hit. Like we had some girls on one of my other shows, Frankie Ray, amazing, two girls. They do leather, these amazing leather handbags. They're almost like retro bags. They have a title
Oh,
for it. I
wow.
don't even know what it is, but they have a name for it. It's almost like they bring these retro bags back up to the future, but they're so amazing. And they started right when this hit. And they kind of had the same, really, when they told their story, they had the same attitude that you did. They just sort of said, hey, we decided to do this hit, we went full force. We just decided, hey, we're going to pivot. We got to do what we got to do. And I think that really says something about the integrity and the work ethic, really, and the dedication to the purpose and this passion, whatever this is, because a lot of businesses did shut down and a lot of people had to go different directions, and a lot of people didn't start things. But for many of us, even in, I talk about even in my work, my line of work, I had to pivot because I was doing things very differently in the coaching space. And all of a sudden I had to go in a different direction with that. And it forced me to, when you get pinned against a wall, you say, okay, hey, this is not working. We want to keep things going. What do we need to do? So incredible. And I think also the fact that you talk about being in the right place at the right time, because look at that. I mean, wow. How you think about things like that. I don't believe in luck. I think people put themselves in the right places because they do the right things. Right?
Oh, absolutely. It's all about, you talked about life's journey, and life throws really great opportunities at you. And it's about being in the right place at the right time, being prepared and saying yes to opportunities. A lot of times, I mean, going back to Fogo, when the CEO looked at me and said, tell me about your business, tell me about, your product, who are you guys? How many people work for you? And I had the opportunity there to be afraid of saying, oh, it's just me, or, oh no, this is really way too big, or, make up 100 different excuses to something. But to be able to say, no, I'm absolutely capable of doing this, and I do want to take this opportunity, and whatever we need to do, we're going to make it happen attitude. And this is not too big for me. And I think a lot of times our mindset, we belittle our capacity, we belittle our reach, or what we're able, or to take on, and then we shut down doors that we had open for ourselves just by fear alone. And so I decided to, from the very beginning, think big and never say no to any opportunity, and always be able, and I'll figure it out along the way. Just give it everything you have. Everything's a learning opportunity. And you are able to do it. And I think, of course, having a good product, not ever compromising on your quality, your ingredients, your, whatever it is that you do, like my father would say, do it well, right? And that alone is, that's already a win, right? For whatever it is that you're doing. And then from there, just take everything as a learning opportunity and run with it. I mean, gosh, I've heard multiple stories from other entrepreneur friends of mine, where in the beginning it was a wreck.
Sure.
Things, as far as packaging, for example, the first packages that I sent over, we sent it all over the US, to New York, to, Colorado, to Florida. And my friends would record my product arriving, opening the packaging. It was a disaster. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And so, just not being afraid to fail. Fail is not necessarily a bad thing. It comes with great, opportunity to perfect and to better yourself, your product, your company, whatever. It's
Yep.
always a good opportunity.
Ooh, mic drop.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think accepting failure as part of your process is probably, I want to say, maybe the single-handedly most important thing that you can take on when you embark on this journey, because I think so many people, and I've worked with so many starting out entrepreneurs when I was building teams, and really we would have to have this whole conversation about this whole commitment phase of, hey, you're excited right now, you're going to hit a pothole. When you hit the pothole, you're going to have to make a decision. Are you going to stop and blame other people for your inability to get where you need to be? Or are you going to recommit and recognize that you need something more to learn, And so
super important.
I think when you get to the place where you just assume that, it really takes the fear out, because you just know, hey, I'm going to screw up, I'm going to mess up, and it's okay. It's okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I tell people all the time, even when things like, with the podcast, and we have things that don't go our way, I don't care about the little things. If we say stupid things, I laugh about it. I used to spend hours going through my podcast and criticizing all the things I would say on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Why did I say that? Why did I do that? Now I just have to laugh at it. I'm like, oh, there she goes. I used to make a joke out of how I would say awesome all the time. Like that was like my word. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And one day I'm finally like, Jennifer says this so many times, I'm going to make a game out of this. I'm just going to start counting how many times the show, like in an episode, I'm going to say it. The funny thing is I don't really say it very much anymore, because I kind of, it went away. But the point is you just really have to learn to embrace all of that, the good and the bad, be able to laugh at yourself, be open to learning, and just be passionate about what you have to offer, right?
Oh my goodness, yes. And I mean, working with customer service my entire life, I learned something with that I really instilled into the business. There's nothing that can't be fixed. There's pretty much it's reviews, people, customers that would be maybe upset at how a product arrived, or whatever. You can always fix it if you have if you're able to listen, take in criticism, fix an error. What can I do to make it right? I mean, honestly, we live in a world it's very doable. I think it's hard for businesses if you have a closed mindset of like, no, or whatever. But if you sit down and you listen to a customer, and you hear them out and you fix it, I mean, they're happy. At the end of the day, they'll probably come back. And I remember this one instance with a box of chocolate that I sent to a lady, and she forgot it in her mailbox. We sent her a message saying, "Oh, it looks like your truffles arrived," but no acknowledgement. And then a week later, she responds, "Oh my goodness, my truffles were in my my mailbox for a week, and they're horrible." And well, I had the decision there. I could have said, "Well, we messaged you, we let you know they arrived, we delivered the product. There was no error on my end." But I was like, "Oh my goodness, that's horrible. What can we do to make it right? What can we do to fix it? Oh, I would like a refund." And I'm like, "Oh, I'll do one better. I'll send you a refund, and I'll send you a new box of chocolates." And so it's all about what do you want your company to represent? What do you want your customer or your clientele to be, how they want to feel about you, or what they want to say about you? Because really, you have the opportunity to win customers for life, depending on how you go about it, whatever it is that you sell or do, right? So yeah, I mean, definitely a bonus to have worked in that industry for so long.
You just gave me chills. That was so good.
Yeah,
it's so good. It's so good. And it's so important. People don't understand that. I mean, to make that decision, that call, that story you just told, to make that call, because so many people, it would have been easy to say exactly that. We emailed you. We told you they were there. That's not our problem. You left them in the mailbox, and you made a choice to say, I'm going to take this one on. It's not my problem, but I'm going to take it on because I want to keep this client.
She went on to acknowledge when she got the truffles, oh my God, these were amazing. Write me an amazing review and be a returning customer.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Energy well spent. Energy well spent. That's all I'm going to say. This is, and this is such a good and powerful message. You know, like we could go on this part just alone forever. This is such a powerful message because so often I think business people don't get this. And when I'm in this, this is why I spend so much time trying to find the right people to put on this show, the right people in my space, because this is exactly the way I feel and operate when it comes to things like this, because it's invaluable. You can't find this kind of service, and people don't get it. They don't get it.
Service makes it. I mean, I am a small business, right? I mean, yes, our reach is expanding. I'm happy. We have big plans to, go nationwide in different ways, and one day have a storefront, do all these different things. We have big plans, but if I am not appreciative of my small beginnings, and if I don't take care of the small clientele that I have as of yet, right now, I mean, what do we have? Maybe 18 reviews online. They're all 5 stars. Does that mean that every single one of them was a perfect experience and that nothing went wrong? Absolutely not. But what did we do between the time they ordered to the time they got the product to after, that made the difference, that made them want to get online and write a review for you, and that it would be 5 stars. One day I might not have 200 5-star ratings. I might have, but every single one of them, you can bet yourself that I will go in and figure out what we did, what we could have done better. And so feedback and, being able to follow up with your clients, you really valuing them, because they will make you who you will be, when you're big, right? From the get-go. I mean, that's definitely something I'm very, very passionate about, for sure.
Good stuff. So tell us about your flavors. How many do you have right now? And are you working on any new ones?
Oh, always. I really am passionate about what I do. And I love creating different flavor profiles in the kitchen. As of right now, we have over 25 different flavors and counting. I'm always up for a challenge on, right now we have flavors such as like raspberry lemon tart, guava cheesecake, orange pistachio that has an actual orange candid pill in the center of it. And so you're going to find that a lot of our flavors are different. We were inspired by, the American palate, desserts in general that you go out and you try and you're like, oh, this is amazing. You can bet yourself I'll be trying to make a truffle out of something that I like, for sure. So yeah, definitely a lot of different flavors. Our customers have a lot of variety to choose from.
Very cool. What are your top sellers? What are the ones that you feel like really?
So they change from time to time. Oh, yes. So definitely top seller, guava cheesecake, creme brulee. Our raspberry lemon tart's pretty popular right now. All of our crunches do very well because you have the very melt in your mouth center with the crunch of the outer layer. That is always a win. It's hard to choose favorites, but yeah, those are definitely some of our top sellers for sure.
Awesome. And the creme brulee is good.
Divine.
It is good. Yes. Divine.
Trust me, I've put on 20 pounds.
Yeah. If you're trying to lose weight, this is probably not the best thing, right?
Yeah. Definitely no self-control.
Yeah, when you got to test your stuff, it's like you got to have control. Like, right? That's how I feel. I still have your box. I'm like still pulling them out of there. I have to have control because I'm like, I don't want to eat the whole box in like one day.
They're so good. They're good. But the good thing about them is they're very rich, right? And so one truffle, I mean, definitely. It gives you that, okay, I'm good for a little while, and then it definitely go back for more, for sure, because they're addicting. But yeah, our flavors I love them. I love our flavors.
That's awesome. Well, you've talked about a lot of things today, and I kind of want to come back to the challenges because I want to kind of talk about this one. We talked about a lot of stuff today, which has been really good. Because as you've said, kind of throughout this, being an entrepreneur, there's the challenges we go through, and you talked about starting in the pandemic and having to pivot. Any other things that you would like to offer that, you maybe feel like was something that you had to work through to make this come together, besides this big one, getting through, obviously, this big 2 years of change we had in our whole world? but anything else as an entrepreneur, something that you feel like, hey, this was something maybe I had to learn, I had to do differently, think differently, navigate?
Yeah. I think that really, first of all, your mindset. We talked a little bit about that already. And it is discouraging when you go through the hard moments. So from the get-go, after I started to being a perfectionist that I am, it's hard because things go and don't always go as planned. You lose control of certain things. You try and try and try and you fail, multiple times on different, packaging or flavors. I mean, to develop these recipes alone was a challenge, right? And at first, it would be so much pressure on that I put on myself, and being a perfectionist, wanting everything to work the first time, and just getting frustrated. I had to stop, and I had to really be realistic with myself and really understand what was going on there, what were my goals, and how I was going to approach problems mentally.
Right.
Okay, because if not, you're gonna lose yourself and you're gonna be unhappy. And what's the whole point of being an entrepreneur is doing what you love, taking something on that represents you as a person, and you just have passion for it, right? And if you're not careful enough, you lose that passion, and then you're in a place that oh, you hear all the time, oh, I left my 5 to 9 to do my own thing that I love, and now I work 24/7. And who wants to work 24/7 doing
Yeah.
something that frustrates them, right? So mindset for me was definitely something I had to overcome. And I think hearing no's, you
Mhm.
know I mean, I've gone to, our product is a white label, and what that is you're able to sell your product to restaurant chains and coffee shops,
Okay.
so that they sell it, right? So it doesn't necessarily have your branding on it when you're selling it as a white label to, these the corporate world. And I mean, I've gone to multiple meetings with people, coffee shop owners or restaurant owners where they're like, oh, this is a great product, it tastes amazing, but it's just not going to work. I remember one time I literally developed 2 flavors for a coffee shop that they had requested. They loved the flavors. All of a sudden they ghosted. They
Hmm.
didn't return, phone calls. They didn't return. And this was after like, oh, can you create this? Can you create? Oh, we love it. It's great. We just need this one more thing. Okay, we're ready to launch. And then all of a sudden ghosted. I mean, to hear those no's, to hear that opportunity close, to not even get closure as to why.
Yeah.
I mean, it was frustrating. But then what I decided to do is see the value and value my product, see the value in my product. And it's okay if not everybody is going to take on that product. It doesn't mean anything about my product. It just meant it wasn't a good fit for that particular place, or maybe it was out of their price range, or maybe when they're reselling the product. So there's so many different things. And if you try to figure it out, and if you're like, oh, nobody's going to want to take this on because that person said no to me or whatever. I mean, you see it so many times when you're talking to movie stars or singers, right? I think it was um, Shakira.
Hmm.
I was reading about her before. People would used to make fun of her voice,
Really?
right?
Wow.
Yeah, people used to make fun of her voice, but she didn't want to let that influence what she thought about herself and what she was able to do, and her gift that she was given. And look at her today, right? So if
Yeah.
we aren't able to take no's, if we limit ourselves with our own, um, minds, and kind of do all that, you're not going to go really far.
Right.
You're not going to. So oh my goodness, we can go on about this
A
as
lot,
well. I
right?
mean,
Yes.
there's so
Well,
many different things.
I think you hit the really main thing, is because it all really comes back to the mindset. And I think the difference is that, I always talk about, we have to develop inward outward, because really how we show up in one area of our life is how we show up in all areas of life. And so we have
It's
to
true.
develop inwardly in order to run an effective business. And so the mindset is important. And I really think, you can learn all the hacks and the techniques. I was in customer service. I can book, I can close, I can sell, I can do all the market, all those things. But really, when I was in the industry that I was in, I spent 21 years in the same industry. And I will tell you, probably 18 of those years, I went through formality of learning all the technical things about it. And when I really started going inward and really working on me as the individual and developing my mindset and learning that this is really no longer about somebody doesn't want your product. It has nothing to do with you. It's just not the right fit.
No, yeah.
You know, and you learn all these things that now it takes away the rejection becomes less impactful. It
Yes.
becomes less about you. It now becomes, you recognize that you have something great. It just means
You
it
don't
wasn't
take it
for
personal.
them. It
Yeah.
wasn't for them, right?
Yeah.
So I think really it's developing you as the human and the individual that makes this come about. And I really, your energy and your passion for this, it's amazing to me. And whatever your parents
Thank
did
you.
raising you, I think it's paying off. That's all I'm gonna say. Because you've got a lot of
Thank
great
you.
tenacity and grit and just really this right headspace for going through this. But I will say, coming from, corporate to entrepreneur, it is a different headspace. I'm not saying you don't don't use your mind at all in that space, but it's different because you're used to someone saying, these are the things you have to do. This is how you have to show up. And all of a sudden it goes to, now I'm responsible for my 8 to
You
5.
do everything.
And you wear all the hats, right? You become
Yeah.
the CEO, the marketer, the seller,
Everything.
the preparer, the packager, the buyer, you're doing all the hats, but you're doing the right thing. And I love your attitude in this and your energy. I just think it's amazing. I'm excited to see where this develops, like how this, goes the next year
Yes.
forward with you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. We are as well.
Great things. Okay. So I got to ask you my fun question. I love this one. It's my word question because I just think it's so much fun. If you were to sum you up in one word, what's your word? One word.
I think it would be driven. Driven.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely driven. I love that word. I love it. What were you going to add to that? I know you had something you wanted to say.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, I was going to say too, I know we were talking about, what you think as far as our necessities and what you overcome or whatnot. I did want to add as well, one of the main things that really got me to where I am today, and that will definitely continue to shape how the company takes off in the future is getting close to people that are good mentors for you and networking. If I could leave those two little nuggets for anyone out there that are, either already has your own business or you're starting to thinking about opening up your own business and kind of going on that journey. It's a long one, but if you really look around and see the people around you that are successful and what they do, and you kind of glue onto them and kind of take in everything they have to offer you. And then if you go out there, get your name out there and not be shy to make new relationships and just, hand out your business card and be really passionate about what you're offering. I go to networking events almost on a weekly basis to meet new people. That's exactly how we met. Yeah. And to be able to bring your product, have people try your product, put a face to the product and all that. Those two things really do open up a lot of doors for people, for sure.
Sharing that. I didn't even have to ask that question because you answered it for me before I even said that. So thank you. No, I think that's great advice. I would agree with you on that 100%. I always say if you're stuck in your business at any point, it probably means that you need to meet somebody else. Somebody else needs to open. And generally, I find that in my own world, when I'm in struggling, maybe I'm not feeling like things are going quite as smoothly as I'd like them, or I'm just not moving quite in the direction. It usually means I'm not talking to enough people. I need to get out the door. I need to start getting more people because I get ideas. And sometimes somebody in the industry will say something to me. It has nothing to do with my business line, but they say something to me that sparks an idea. And then I go home and I'm like, never quite thought of it like that, or never really, quite thought of that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And you're always going to reap the benefit of someone remembering who you are and saying, I know a girl that does this, or I know a guy that does this, and reach back out to you, or, hey, I want to introduce you to someone. I mean, oh my goodness, the possibilities are endless when it comes to networking. Definitely a must-have for any business owner.
I agree with you. Okay, well, this has been awesome, Raquel. You're amazing. I want to do some fun questions before we end
Oh,
this
let's do
show.
it.
I feel like you and I could talk forever and ever, and our people are just going to get like tired of hearing us at some point. But you have some great words of wisdom, and I think you're doing
Thank you.
incredible things. Like I said, I'm excited to see where all this goes. But we got to do some rapid fire here.
Yes, let's do
Super
it.
fun, not serious questions, right?
Okay.
My favorite part of the show, because I find out a lot of fun things about people in this part. So, all right, let's do this. Okay, favorite guilty pleasure besides your amazing truffles. She's like truffle
Oh
one,
my,
truffle two, truffle three.
oh my goodness. Let's see. I love cheesecake.
Me too.
Oh my goodness. I love going to Cheesecake Factory and trying all this. I can eat a whole piece all by myself.
Do you like just cheesecake by itself, or do you like it with like fruit on it, or
My favorite is the recess one. I love peanut butter.
I love peanut
So
butter.
good. Chocolate.
Can you eat it? Can you eat peanut butter out of the jar? Like about almost daily have to have a spoon of peanut butter.
Yes, yes. I was really serious on my fitness journey a while back. Definitely not there anymore. I need to go back. But my guilty pleasure when I was, being fit would be like to eat the peanut butter by the spoon, so much so that my trainer was like, okay, Raquel, we need to get you off the peanut butter. It's now too heavy because you're eating too much of it. But yeah,
Too
definitely
much
can
of
eat
it. Yeah, it's good, but too much of it after a while, because there's, and it's healthy fats,
heavy.
but
Yeah.
too much of anything, like too much fat, at a period of time can be too much. But I'm the same way. I buy the natural peanut butter. You have to like stir it, put it in the
Stir
fridge.
it with a little, yeah.
Yeah, but
I
I can
know.
sit there totally, and then I'll be like, I need one more. Like get a new spoon, stick it back in the
Oh,
peanut
so
butter.
good.
One more. Love peanut butter. Love peanut butter.
Yes.
That's fun. All right, favorite destination spot that you've traveled to?
Oh, this is an easy one for me. Thailand.
Ah,
We went to Japan and then to Thailand. The best food. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. The water is like crystal clear. The people are amazing. I mean, everything about it. We had a lot of fun, and I want to go back. It's definitely worth the long air, the long flight for sure.
yeah. And how long is the flight to get there from here?
I think it was a total of 23 hours with like flying, here to Japan and then from Japan to Thailand.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
you're
was.
pretty much having a sleepover on the plane.
I remember on the flight, we would like watch movies, eat, sleep, wake up and still not there. Like watch movie again. Oh my God, it's still
How
not
much
there.
longer?
Oh, it was long. Definitely don't do it with kids. But if you're
Yeah,
going out with your girlfriends or significant other, definitely worth the trip.
gotcha. All right, favorite or not favorite? Let's do this. First concert you ever attended?
First concert was U2 concert. Wouldn't have been any other way. Big fan. And Muse opened up for them when they were nobodies and then, and I was like, oh my God, who are these guys? They're amazing. It was a lot of fun. I
I
loved
like
it.
Muse, and I still have a U2 album at my house.
They never get old.
Yeah,
They're
they
amazing. I
have the
love their
concert.
music.
Yeah, awesome, very cool. All right, and then I want to ask this question. This will be fun. If you could be any superhero or character for a day, what would you pick?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I mean, I would I'm tempted to say Catwoman just because she's so awesome.
I like it. I,
Yeah.
I haven't asked this question.
I'm not even I'm a dog girl, but
No.
hey, I'll be Catwoman any day if you look that good. Yeah.
Thinking about Michelle Pfeiffer right now in one of the old Batman movies. Isn't she like the Catwoman in like one of the older ones or something? So
Yeah.
they make her so like, like she's like, I'm cat, I think
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I haven't
Catwoman.
asked
She's
this
got something
question.
going on.
Yeah, I haven't asked this question in a while, and every once in a while I like to ask it because I just think it's kind of fun. It's like, what would you do if you had to be
I'm
like?
curious who you would pick. You would make a great Catwoman.
I actually picked I forgot who she is now. She's in one of the Marvels.
Marvels.
The one that could fly.
Yes. Was she the evil one?
No, she's my.
No.
I'm like, I can picture her, but all of a sudden I can't think of her name now. I've said it before.
Well, all the Marvel women are amazing.
This one, I think she flies. It's all she does. She like does superpowers. I don't know what, but anyways, somebody asked me that one day and I like spit it off just like that. But
hey, flying is amazing.
Do what?
Flying is fun.
Right? You could just,
Yeah.
even though I don't really like to fly, but I think it'd be great if you could just like pick yourself off the ground. You don't like the situation, get up off the ground, you know?
Go.
Well, and then she kind of saves the day. So like, like she's
Yeah.
talking stuff. So, but
Yeah.
Catwoman's great. I think you'd be an amazing Catwoman.
Thank you.
All right. This has been so much fun. If our audience wanted to learn a little bit more about these divine gourmet truffles and a little bit more about you and the business, all that good stuff, where do we want to send them?
Our website, sweetjoybites.com. You can find us pretty much anywhere, Amazon, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Instagram, Facebook, wherever we do it all. So
You're everywhere. She can be found.
everywhere.
We love it. All right. Well, we do want to say to our listeners, of course, if you enjoy our show, please be sure you give us a rating, both on iTunes, Facebook, because we can't do this without you, and hit that subscribe button on the YouTube. And with that, we want to leave you with a final thought. In order to live the extraordinary, you must start, and every start begins with a decision. You guys take care, be safe, and be kind to one another. We will see you next time.